Ja, willkommen zurück bei Loco Motion. In der letzten Folge ist es uns gelungen, den Safe zu öffnen. Und jetzt sind wir hier in Hermanns Quartier und suchen, was da los ist. Jetzt kritisieren wir erstmal die Schreibmaschine.
It's a cheap whisper note knockoff. No self-respecting writer should be opting for an off-brand model.
Are you comparing office supplies right now?
Jo, mach ich.
Hermann Mermann and the Suburban Burden. Not one of his better titles. These must be unfinished works. What drives a man to own this many bow ties?
Your guess is as good as mine. But we're not here to pursue crimes of fashion.
Still mighty suspicious, if you ask me. I can't say I've read any of these before, and I don't think I'll be starting now. Looks like those twins were rifling through Hermann's belongings.
Ugh, they give me the heebie-jeebies.
It's a small collection of Dirk Chiselton adventures. The paperbacks are dog-eared, like he read them in a bad mood.
Na gut, haben wir alles bis auf das Fenster aufzuschieben. Ich
The
spreche
missing will
nochmal
was
mit dir.
here all along. Better grab it before we lose it again, Arthur.
Okay, sie hat's gesehen. Also,
Aha! I've got you this time!
na mal sehen. Ah.
No, don't you dare! It's Lady Unterwald's will. It must have traveled down the carriages.
Okay, ja, mit dem Stock kann man den
The
Stock
cane
greifen.
would give me the reach, but I'll still need something to hook on to.
Das vielleicht mit dem Stock. So.
I'd like to think Lady Unterwald would want me to have this. All right, here goes nothing.
Da fällt die an zu. Und?
I got it!
Well done, Arthur.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
Hello? Is that you, detective? Hey, you're not Herman. What are you doing here?
Oh, we were just,
We could ask you the same question.
We were looking for the detective. Wait, what's that you're holding?
Oh, this is just a piece of paper. All very inconsequential.
You found the missing will. We can do the reading now, Mr. Ackerman.
I don't think that's a good idea.
We should get started right away.
There's still a lot of cross-referencing we need to
Oh, we insist.
Well, Arthur?
What does it say?
I'm not sure I should...
Oh, get on with it.
All right, all right. It reads as follows. I, Lady Unterwald, being of sound mind and legal capacity, leave my entire estate to... Arthur Ackerman.
What? You poisonous goat! You turned her against us.
We were right to distrust you. Hand over that will. Hey, that's your hearing horn.
It's all starting to make sense now.
What is it, Mother?
Arthur clearly manipulated my dear sister's living will in his own favor.
No!
Then murdered her to claim the estate for himself.
It's not what it looks like. Oh dear.
Seize him!
Okay, Teil 3, der kuriose Fall des Herrn Liu.
I assure you, detectives, these restraints are unnecessary.
Hermann Mermann, as I live and breathe. I hope you don't mind me saying, but we're big fans of your work. Isn't that right, Bailey?
Oh, I mean, yes, I could hardly contain my excitement.
We were thinking, maybe you could help us out, Hermann.
Well, I'm always happy to assist a fan.
Maybe you could tell us what happened on the Royce Express.
You want to know about the Royce Express?
We wanted to give you the opportunity to set the record straight.
What do you say?
You know, my memory of that evening is a little hazy.
That's probably to be expected. You all took quite the beating.
Is that why my arm is in a cast?
It's okay. Let's just start small. Can you tell us your earliest memory from that day, Herman?
Let me think. I believe it all began at my publisher's office. I just pitched my latest novel, you see. It was going down in absolute storm.
Thank you, Herman. What an interesting pitch.
And what a title! Hermann Mermann and the Suburban Burden.
And we just think it's so brave of you to come here and pitch us another crime novel.
Especially considering the current landscape.
Thank you! But what do you mean?
Well, there's no easy way to say this.
The data indicates a sharp decline in your particular brand of fiction.
We've also run into some problems with your branding deals.
Surely not the Hermann Mermann dolls! You assured me they'd be a hit!
I'm afraid so, Herman.
We can't even give these away.
Stop that! I don't like it! Well, what do you suggest we do?
Not to worry. We're already prototyping an exciting line of Dirk Chiselton products.
Stop that! I don't like it!
Ahem. This is just a prototype, of course.
Very much still in the early development phase.
So that's it then. I've been replaced?
No! Nobody said you're being replaced, Herman.
We're simply... how do we say this?
Exploring new avenues.
Yes, that's it.
I do feel you're making a big mistake here. Hermann Mermann and the Suburban Burden is a gold mine.
I'm afraid it's ultimately out of our hands, Herman. But if you feel strongly about this idea, we could always petition the board.
Board?
The board.
Pitch to me, if you dare. Behold, I alone control the means of production.
Go ahead, Herman.
Just place your manuscript into the slot and we'll give the old algorithm a spin.
Determining market value. Unappealing protagonist. Margins below threshold. Unsatisfactory target demographic. Manuscript denied.
Ah, well, there you have it.
We all really enjoyed your pitch, but the board doesn't seem to agree.
If you have anything else to pitch, we'd be glad to hear it, though.
Don't quit your day job.
Wait, you want me to pitch something else?
You're a valued client, Herman. Just let us know when you're ready.
I'll just grab a cup of water. It's a handy slot for receiving manuscripts. One crank of that lever and the board will spring into action. Oh, it certainly looks refreshing.
We infuse the water with a hint of lemon, you know.
What do we have here?
Oh, was haben wir denn hier?
Oh, it's weighty. Could be 70,000 words by my estimate. It's the manuscript to my latest masterpiece, Hermann Mermann and the Suburban Burden. Nope. I'm assuming this doubles as the out tray. There's a rejected manuscript in here already. Waste not, want not.
Okay, was ist das?
It's the romance novel I retrieved from the bin. Perhaps I should have left it there.
How can I help, Herman?
Are you sure you can't approve of my work?
Sorry, Herman, but everything has to go through the board now. If the board doesn't give the green light, then we're out of luck. Now keep trying. I'm sure you got plenty of ideas floating around in that head of yours.
Oh, yes, I'm positively brimming with new ideas.
That's the spirit.
I have a few questions about the board.
I'd be happy to help. What do you want to know?
How does the board identify a good manuscript?
The man wants to know how it all works. So, we started by feeding the board every bestseller from the past decade, building ourselves a large data set to pull from.
Then we added our own weighting to the system based on today's trends, our target demographic, and the current market conditions.
Using the power of machine learning and various algorithms, the board reads the manuscripts we feed it and makes a determination on the probability it'll resonate with our audience.
Oh dear, I can see your eyes are starting to glaze over. How can we really boil it down for him?
If you stick a script into the slot and pull the lever, the board decides whether we'll have a bestseller on our hands or an embarrassing flop.
All of that fallible human decision-making has been totally removed from the equation, you see. It's a much fairer system.
Ah, I see. Do you have any advice for getting the board on my side?
That might not be the best approach, Herman. The board isn't capable of taking sides. That's the beauty of it. The board can't demonstrate emotions like hate or loathing. Although I'll admit it really took a disliking to that pitch of yours. It all comes down to the right input. If you put rubbish in, you're going to get rubbish out, no?
The right input. What would happen if the board stopped working?
Well, if the board were ever to go down for maintenance, we do have a failsafe in place.
What's the failsafe?
It would fall to the three of us to take on the risk of approving or denying a manuscript, an informed but ultimately human decision.
Thankfully, it's never come to that.
Okay.
Actually, that's enough questions for now.
Very well.
Have you received any good pitches lately?
Nothing comes to mind. I'm afraid the board has been a little picky lately. There's the latest Chiselton, of course, but we haven't submitted that to the board yet.
Dirk Chiselton sent over a manuscript?
Oh, yes. It's likely sitting in our inbox as we speak.
It's safe to say we're all excited about that one.
Indeed. I should probably get back to formulating my pitch.
We're eager to hear it, Hermann.
Der Verlegerin
What's
könnte
on
ihm was
your
anderes sagen.
mind, Mr. Mermann?
Tell me about this Dirk Chiselton character.
Well, Dirk is our best-selling author right now. The public can't get enough, and the board just loves him.
Our market research suggests his stories are a huge part of the appeal.
They're all true tales from his time pounding the pavement, you know?
So I've heard.
You could learn a thing or two from him, Hermann. Dirk is hitting all our core demographics, and you know what they say.
What are they saying? Is it about me?
You've heard the expression, out with the old, in with the new.
I take it that I'm the old in this equation.
You've had a good run, but haven't you considered stepping aside? Perhaps it's time to let Dirk have his time in the sun. No? Trust me, you'll want to jump before you get pushed.
You're saying I'm to be pushed out?
No, nobody's saying that. But your sales haven't quite met our expectations, and you have to agree the board has taken a rather active dislike to you. It's important to remember this isn't personal, Hermann. It's just business.
Well, it feels pretty personal to me. It's all right if you disliked my latest manuscript.
It doesn't matter what I think. It's the board you have to convince.
Ah, so you do like it.
I didn't say that.
I should probably get back to formulating my pitch.
Step to it, Mr. Mermann.
So, und du?
Talk to me, Hermie.
Are you sure you can't approve the suburban burden?
Sorry, Hermie. If the board doesn't approve, I just can't help you.
So you can't think for yourself? You go along with whatever the board decides?
It's a medical condition, okay? My doctor calls it an intuition deficiency.
You suffer from an intuition deficiency?
I'm a textbook case for chronic indecisiveness.
What are you going to do about it?
I haven't decided yet.
What's happening with the Hermann merchandise?
Oh, you mean the Hermann Mermann merch line? Well, I have to say I love it, Hermie. Just love it.
Well, that's a relief.
No, I really do have to say I love it. It's a contractual obligation.
I'm afraid our target demographic is finding the doll a little...
Off-putting.
Unpleasant.
repellent, yes.
Why are there so many Hermann dolls in your office?
The stores couldn't ship them, so I guess they got sent back.
Luckily, we made them on the cheap, so we didn't take too large a hit.
I didn't realize you could pack a doll with that much sawdust, but we made it work.
I'm a little concerned about Dirk Chiselton.
Hermie, are you really afraid of some healthy competition? There's no need to assume the worst. We may not even have to make a choice between you.
So, you wouldn't end our relationship to chase larger numbers?
Like he said, we may not even have to make a terrible but obvious choice.
So, na gut, genug geredet.
I should probably get back to formulating my pitch.
We're all rooting for you, Hermann.
I see a letter opener and a mini stapler.
Hey, hands off!
Na gut.
I don't need to call anyone right now.
Oh,
They won't mind if I borrow this. It's a pile of recalled Hermann Mermann merchandise.
Closer to a towering stack, if you ask me.
I was thinking it's more of a monument to rejection.
Thanks for the input. I have a great deal of sympathy for the pigeon. Misunderstood, not particularly popular, considered a nuisance more than anything.
You know, a lot of our focus testing said the same thing about you, Hermann.
Dirk Chiselton, my arch nemesis. What does he have that I haven't got?
An adoring fan base?
Critical acclaim?
Upper body strength?
na gut, dann versuchen wir mal hier ein bisschen zu manipulieren. Also, was haben wir denn Schönes? Ist ja nicht allzu viel, ne? Einfach so und
That
so.
doesn't work.
Nee. Jetzt versuchen wir mal rumzuprobieren. Kann ich einfach Wasser in den Schlitz schütten?
Liquid detected in script input device. Attempting self-cleaning process. Self-cleaning process completed successfully. Sabotage attempt denied.
Drat! I'll have to do better than that.
Okay. Also erstmal neues Wasser holen, oder? Kann man irgendwie das Manuskript manipulieren?
It's the manuscript to my latest masterpiece, Hermann Mermann and the Suburban Burden. This looks very familiar. No! One crank of that lever and the board will spring into action. This board is the only thing standing between me and my next published work. I'll need to disable it somehow.
That doesn't work.
Insufficient dramatic entrances. Romantic tension levels below acceptable threshold. Kissing scenes lack spark. Consider adding explosions. Manuscript denied.
I refuse to grant Dirk the satisfaction of having this approved.
Gucken wir mal, ob wir noch irgendwo was liegen haben. Guckt da gerade nicht hin.
Hey, hands off!
Aber er guckt hin. Na gut. Muss irgendwo noch was sein. Aschenbecher. Das ist geil.
Another typically overcast day in London.
Aha. Poststapel.
These boxes likely contain manuscripts from my peers. The boxes seem to be filled with popcorn.
It's a great loose-fill packaging material, you know.
It's also the cheapest thing we could find.
I'll just take a handful.
Das der Taube geben.
Here you go, my fine feathered fellow.
Get away from here, you winged rodents!
So, habe ich das Zeug. Guck ich's mal in Ruhe an. Also, wir haben hier schon mal einen Brieföffner. Machen wir das mal auf.
Sorry, Dirk. I need it more than you do.
Okay. Deckblatt
It's the
ansehen.
cover page I tore from Dirk Chiselton's manuscript. It's a very thick manuscript. Ah, typical overachiever. The craftsmanship of this fountain pen is exquisite. This letter opener looks like it had sliced through more than paper.
Ich irgendwas von Säge springen. Hoppla. So. Den das mach. Okay, kann man das da reinkippen?
If I can't win playing by their rules, it's time to mix things up.
Foreign object detected in script input device. Attempting self-cleaning process. Self-cleaning process failed!
Excuse me. The board doesn't seem to be taking any more submissions.
How unusual. I've never seen the board do that before.
Herman, were you able to submit your manuscript beforehand?
Indeed, I did.
Very well. Let's see whether the underlying data supports you.
What's happening?
I think the board approves. I can't tell.
Pull the lever again.
It's no use. The board is completely fried.
That's not possible.
But without the board, we'd have to...
You couldn't possibly mean...
I'm afraid so. We're going to have to go with our gut on this one.
No! There must be some other way.
How can we possibly decide without empirical data?
Let us deliberate.
It's a handy slot for receiving manuscripts.
So, wie geht's denn jetzt
What
weiter?
do you need, Herman?
Can you approve the suburban burden now?
Sorry, Herman, but we still believe the board knew best.
The board is clearly malfunctioning. It must have made a mistake.
Nah, it'd be irresponsible to go against that decision because of a minor technical hiccup.
What happened to the board?
I'm not sure. Something seems to have gummed up the works. You didn't put any liquid in there, did you, Herman?
Of course not! It looks like I'll be pitching directly for the time being.
It would seem so. It's been a while since we had to evaluate something ourselves.
Just place your manuscript in the in tray and let us know when you're ready.
Okay.
What are you looking for in a pitch?
Ah, trying to play to your audience, are we?
Something like that.
Well, I've always been partial to an action thriller myself. Dirk's very good at that stuff, you know?
Indeed.
Oh, yes, he's always going toe-to-toe with danger. I'm practically on the edge of my seat just thinking about it. Just try your best. We aren't exactly expecting a Chiselton thriller from you.
I'll take that into consideration. I think that will be all for now.
Take care, Herman.
What's on your mind, Mr. Mermann?
Would you take another look at the Suburban Burden?
Suburban Burden was already a hard no. The board made that very clear. We're more than willing to hear another pitch, but I'm afraid we'll have to do it the old-fashioned way.
The old-fashioned way?
Just place your manuscript inside the in tray and let us know when you're ready.
Ja.
So, have you read anything good lately?
We don't have time to read, Herman.
We prefer to leave it to the professionals.
Okay.
You have any ideas on what to pitch?
Well, we're open to anything and everything, as long as it fits within the extremely narrow scope of time, budget, and each of our individual needs and desires, naturally.
Tell me, what are you personally looking for in a pitch?
It's been a little while since I've had to approve anything myself. But I know audiences today want real characters that aren't afraid of showing a little emotion. Realistic characters with emotions and feelings. You know, a little tenderness wouldn't go amiss.
Okay.
I should probably get back to formulating my pitch.
Step to it, Mr. Mermann.
Okay, und jetzt noch du.
How can I help, Hermie?
It looks like the board isn't so reliable after all.
There's always bound to be teething issues whenever new technology is adopted. I'm sure the board will be up and running in no time at all.
I suppose you'll have to use your powers of decision-making in the meantime?
Let's not get too hasty. It might not come to that.
Tell me, what would you be looking for in a pitch?
That's a pretty big question. I'm not sure I can make that kind of decision. It's the others you'll have to convince. They're much less receptive to the old Herman charm. Between you and me, I heard a manuscript from Dirk Chiselton landed in our inbox this very morning.
It did?
That's right. So unless you have Dirk Chiselton beat, just consider this whole thing a polite formality.
I think that will be all for now.
Take care, Herman.
Na gut, also wir gucken uns jetzt nochmal die Ablage an.
It's where all the incoming mail eventually ends up.
Da legen wir jetzt was rein. Also auf jeden Fall brauchen wir das Abenteuermanuskript. Das Romantische, wir mischen alles, lassen aber das Deckblatt wahrscheinlich weg. Also, ich würde mal mit seinem Zeug das Dokument
It's the
ansehen.
manuscript to my latest masterpiece, Hermann Mermann and the Suburban Burden.
Und wenn wir das Romantische drauflegen.
It's the romance novel I retrieved from the bin. Perhaps I should have left it there.
Und jetzt legen wir das Ding auf.
There, that should do it. Allow me to pitch my latest manuscript. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised.
We'll be the judge of that. Hermann Mermann, dare I say it, I'm impressed.
He's rough and daring, but he has a soft, caring side. Well done, Herman. This may even compare to Chiselton's best work, no doubt about it.
Now that's what I'm talking about. A classic silly Hermann adventure. The narrative is a little pedestrian at first, but then it really digs its hooks in.
Are you sure we can't check with the board, just in case?
I think those were noises of approval. I really can't tell.
All right, we've got something here. Let's make it happen, Herman.
What do you need from us, Herman?
I was wondering if I could get paid in advance.
You didn't tell me he was funny.
One moment, Herman. Yes? It's for you, Herman. Were you expecting a call?
I don't believe so. Yes. Oh, indeed. Of course. Thank you for the opportunity, Lady Unterwald.
Herman?
Ladies and gentlemen, it appears I have a train to catch. But you shall have your story.
Hermann Mermann, we meet at last. Welcome aboard the Royce Express.
Lady Unterwald, what is the meaning of this?
Please accept my apologies for the unusual manner of your arrival. As I'm sure you can understand, a certain amount of discretion was required.
Indeed?
Forgive me, you must be wondering what it is you're doing here aboard my train.
I assumed you required the services of a world-famous detective.
Oh, my goodness, no! A world-famous detective running amok on my train. Everyone would be losing their minds before supper. I hear you're writing your next novel. I felt you could adequately mask your activities as a working novelist. To the average passenger, you'd simply be researching your next story. Do you think you could do that, Herman? Keep a low profile, not cause a scene?
Well,
Well, I could always call Dirk Chiselton. It wouldn't be as clean, but...
I'll do it! Hermann Mermann never backs away from a case.
Lady Unterwald.
Away! Back into the case with you!
Lady Unterwald, please. Forgive me if I am intruding.
Not at all, Mr. Liu. What a pleasure it is to see you again.
Please, I must insist you call me Jean. Here, I brought you something.
Oh, another bouquet. You certainly know how to flatter an old gal.
No, not quite. It's a chili plant, a particularly fiery variety. It reminded me of you, my lady.
Oh, my goodness, John. You turned me bright red. But I know you didn't come all this way just to flatter me.
Indeed. I was wondering if you'd given any more thought to my proposal. If you're considering selling your legacy, I want you to know that it'll be in good hands.
Look, John,
You need more time to consider, of course. There are still a few more hours before the speech. I'll leave you to weigh your options.
You're most kind. Thank you, Jean. All right, you can come out. This is why you're here, Herman. I need you to keep an eye on Mr. Liu for me.
You think Mr. Liu has an ulterior motive?
At the very least, I suspect he doesn't have my full interests at heart. And And there's also the question of my family, who will undoubtedly be sticking their noses into my business. I've got them sufficiently shaking in their boots ahead of my speech. But keep an eye out for any trouble, will you?
I'll certainly do my best, Lady Unterwald.
I've secured a suite for you on board, room 304. Just let me know if you find anything untoward.
Of course! Hermann Mermann won't let you down.
Get to it then, Detective.
Okay, und an die Arbeit macht er sich in der nächsten Folge, wenn es hier weitergeht. Für heute haben wir wieder einiges erreicht. Und ich sage Tschüss, macht's gut. Bis zum nächsten Mal, euer Astronier. Tschüssi.